Hey everybody, happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Happy whatever day it is because I've lost track. I'm Dawn Church. I'm WorkSmart's events manager. We have the fabulous Marissa Wayman with us again today for this video.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us.
And we have a special guest star, which you may or may not have noticed, but you probably have noticed because this picture's right there in front of your screen. We have the amazing Rob Whitman, who is WorkSmart's project lead and like reigning champion for Consultant of the Year, which technically was in 2018, but we changed up our award system last year, so now he just has it for forever.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here and happy Spooktober.
I love it.
All right. So I'm going to tell you in a little bit why Rob is here today, but let's sort of recap. So this week we've talked about the tricks to watch out for in phishing emails and around the internet. We've talked a lot about us as the zombies of the internet this week. So today we're going to put those treats to the test and we're going to play a game with Rob.
That's right. So this game is called very creatively Trick or Treat. So we're going to show Rob 3 different emails and we're going to let him guess which one are treats or, the safe emails and which ones are tricks or unsafe, scammy, fishy, spooky emails. So with that, Dawn, I think you want to get us kicked off, huh?
Yeah, I sure do. All right, Rob. So here is email number 1. And just so you know, and all of you on the internet who are watching this, you can ask me to expand things out. You can ask me to hover over things. You can ask me basically to do whatever you want with this email to inspect it. So, Rob, what do you think?
Well, first, I'd like to just hover over the change password link and see what kind of a URL shows up for that.
All righty. There we go.
So the first thing I notice here is that there's just kind of a lot of text, and a lot of it looks scrambled, and specifically the HTTP followed by an HTTPS is a little bit suspicious. And I don't know what blomlight.com is. I've never heard of it. So I know it's not something that we use here at WorkSmart, especially for password changes. So I'm going to go right away on this one and say that it is a trick.
And we have a winner.
Okay.
All right. So can you talk maybe about some other giveaways to why this one seems like a trick?
Yeah, so it does mention security breach that happened. Excuse me. But it doesn't call out necessarily like what happened or give any real details into what's going on. It just is coming from, in our case, Clay, who's not necessarily somebody who would send out an email like this. I would expect more along the lines of you or Marissa or HR to send it, not come directly from Clay. So that kind of stands out to me as suspicious. And then again, the URL being something that we don't use and kind of putting in that sense of urgency, please do this right away. Obviously a password change and a breach is something that's urgent, but it's just further reinforcing that you probably should pause just for a moment and think about the whole situation of who it's coming from and what the situation is and how much detail is in there. So yeah, that's about all I have on that one.
Well, you said it well. So yes, this one is a trick. It's actually a simulated trick. So we've talked about cybersecurity awareness training, and this one came from our cybersecurity awareness training platform that routinely sends all of us fake phishing emails. They're technically real phishing emails because they're not coming from the people that they say that they're coming from, but it's a safe version of a phishing email because it's from a security training awareness program, which is designed to test our skills. So with that, we're going to go to round 2.
All right, so here's round 2. This time, it's my trick or treat. So we've got an email here from Admiral, and it's another password request. So Rob, let me know what you would like me to do. Let's maybe scroll down for the rest of the email content. There's a list of what's happened. What do I need to do to change my password? Anything you'd like me to do to check?
So this one isn't giving off any kind of like direct URLs to get into the system, it looks like, except for the help center, which usually those will link in suspicious emails to the correct place for help centers and knowledge bases. And they'll hide the misleading links in like a click here to change your password, like we saw in the last example. And I didn't see anything in that unless I missed it.
Nope, no other URL is that help one.
Okay. Initially, I was a little concerned that there's kind of like an emoji in the email subject with the lock and the key and everything. That kind of seemed suspicious. But I will say, if there's not a suspicious looking link trying to tell you to get into the site, and it's just giving the instructions on how to get in and change it, typically you're going to then log into the website like you normally would to get in. So to me, this one seems like it is a safe treat.
That is very, again, well put. This is a legitimate email that came from a program to let me know that I should change my password. And instead of making it easy for me to link to, or also making me suspicious and therefore maybe disregarding the message, they put in very easy instructions for me to follow in order to get to that location there. And so you are 100% correct. Support at admiral.com is a real thing. And this was a treat.
Woo! I wish I could actually just give you candy through the computer screen, but
right.
I haven't successfully managed that yet. It's gonna happen.
It's a little tough.
I'm working on it.
You gotta just plan it ahead and have the right kind of candy and just pass it, through the screen like they do on like TikTok videos and everything.
Yeah,
sure we can figure it out.
That's true. Next time I'm just gonna like camp outside your door, and then I'll
There you
like
go.
pass one under the door each time you win.
There you go.
Just make sure some of the candy comes my way, because
There you go.
enjoy the treat.
All right, we're gonna move on to round number 3. All righty. So Rob, here is the last email number 3. What do you think?
So I use Planner a lot, so I'm used to seeing emails that look like this. This is another one where I would hover over the open in Microsoft Planner before clicking it just to double check.
Can do that for you.
And this is another one that kind of gives that away. Microransom.us obviously is not Planner. So they did a good job of spoofing the Microsoft Planner email address up there at the top. And this email does look very much like an official you've been assigned a task email from Planner. So they did a decent job with this one. But again, the URL gives it away. It's one of the first things I always check if I'm not expecting something. Or in this case, it looks like a legitimate thing. But again, it's just useful to always look at those URLs. So I'm going to go with a trick on this one as well.
And we have another winner. Yes. So hovering over that payment or that button here is a dead giveaway. It says it's like taking you straight to something that involves ransomware and payment information, which is obviously not Planner. But as Rob mentioned, we use Planner quite a lot here at WorkSmart, and we're all pretty used to getting assigned a task. And this looks very, very, very similar to an actual Planner task assignment email. So as he said, yes, they did an excellent job of spoofing a email. So
Some subtle pieces in here too that are worth mentioning, like the name, that typically, if you compared this against another planner email that was legitimate, you would see that it actually, because Microsoft knows our names in their accounts, it actually lists your name and it's not a link. So, looking at the context of the email and for subtle differences can also give you kind of that heads up that something isn't right.
mm-hmm. Alrighty. So you won all the things. Excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Round of applause all around. Okay, so that's the three emails that we have for today. But Rob, I think you have some extra treats for our audience today. What are your personal I was going to say tricks, but that's not the right word in this context, right? What are your personal tips and treats for spotting a phishing email?
So we talked about checking URLs and verifying that you're kind of expecting an email from somebody or some service, and just being familiar with the things that you use. But some of the other things you can look at is if it's giving a sense of urgency, like, hey, you need to take this action right away. And it's kind of coupled with, we're missing payment information, or you need to update payment information. If you password changes, those types of things. Whenever an email is urging you to do something, that should be a key to just pause and think about it, just to make sure that the whole thing kind of makes sense. And that's, again, where checking who it's from and the context of the situation, if that's the person that would actually be sending something like that out. And then aside from that, just kind of having a gut feeling. If something looks off about it, there's probably a reason that you feel like it's off. So again, that should be a moment to pause, look at the email, think about the situation, and go from there. I feel like that's only two. So it's like a bunch of bundled in things together.
That's true. We'll take it. That's
Okay.
great. You did an excellent job.
Thank
And
you.
you really kind of hit the nail on the head there at the end for like why we're playing this game and why we promote security awareness training so much is because you need to cultivate that gut feeling, right? That gut feeling that something is off. Because you've done the training, to be on the lookout for some of this stuff, because as we've mentioned in some previous episodes, our brains are sort of wired to skip over like misspellings and things to that effect. But if you are constantly on the lookout, if you're constantly exercising those muscles, you cultivate that, hey, something is kind of off here, that like, something smells fishy muscle. Which will help you spot a phishing email. So before we wrap out, Marissa, do you have any last tips or things you want to add? Rob did an excellent job of, going through everything, so I wouldn't be surprised. But do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't. I think that's a good way to put it. Stay vigilant, check everything.
Do all the things.
Do them. Just do them.
All the things. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for joining us. You did an excellent job, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Marissa and I will be back with more videos soon. Bye, y'all.
Happy Halloween.